Okay, so this is day 5 of the workshop. I completely forgot to record day 5, so I'm doing it now. I'm going to go ahead and redo it so you guys can have this for your records, so you can review this video and everything with the information that I covered in day 5. So I'm going to go ahead and just get things started. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, so here we go. Move this out of the way really quick. All right. So I started with the 12 universal laws. I know I've been kind of like reviewing this one a lot, but I'm doing it on purpose because I understand that this specific law or these 12 universal laws is probably one of the best ways to view and understand your own reality. There's many implications to these laws, if they're true, of course, or if you choose to believe them. One implication is that it removes everything that has to do with chance, right? Look, if we lived in a universe where everything was based on chance, then your success would just be based on chance as opposed to be based on something that you can purposely create for yourself. Does this make sense? Like, if you want to be successful and have a lot of money, for instance, and be happy and be healthy, but all those things in your life are just dependent on chance as opposed to you creating it on purpose, then who knows if you ever become successful? Who knows if how your health is going to be one day? Who knows how your finances are going to be? Who knows? Nobody does because it's all based on chance. But you can't live in a universe where things are based on chance, and then other things are based on purpose. Because the reason that doesn't make any sense is for this. What qualifies something to be to be determined by chance, and what qualifies something to be determined by purpose, right? No one can answer that question. There is no answer to the question because there are no set rules to tell you, hey, look, these situations are based on chance, and these situations are things that you can actually control and purposely create in your life. Okay, so where are these things listed? You have to understand that it's either one or the other. It can't be both. Okay. Now, things look like they're created by chance, but the truth is everything's on purpose. And these 12 universal laws tell us this. Okay. These 12 universal laws tell us this, especially the law that I emphasize a lot on is the law of cause and effect. Every action has a consequence. In physics, the first law of motion states that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Everything we do has an effect in this world. Everything, okay? And this is how things come about, the cause and effect of things, okay? Now, as you do good things, the law of compensation states that we are rewarded for right actions. As you do good in this world, you receive good. You receive good. It comes back to you. Okay? Because the law of compensation states that. But as you do bad, you will have to also face those consequences because the law of relativity states that we're going to face challenges. You know, those challenges are basically directly connected to the law of cause and effect, to all the negative things you do in the world. Because as you do bad unto others, the law of divine oneness states that everything is connected. Everything is connected. So as you hurt somebody, you're really hurting yourself because the law of oneness states that. And not just that, the law of relativity states that you're going to face challenges basically that are equivalent or are are determined by the causes or the things that you do in the world, right? The causes that you create in the world that then creates the effect, right? Because Every action has a consequence, the good and the bad, okay? The good will compensate you. The bad will require you to learn lessons, which will then require you to face challenges to learn those lessons. They're not punishments, okay? People think, oh, I'm being punished by God because I did such a bad thing. No, that's not how it works. You're not being punished here. You're being presented with a challenge to assist you in your growth and your development. All right. These laws determine everything. It's you can live life understanding these laws, applying these laws. Man, it changes everything for you. It really does. And it's exciting because you're in control. Now, that might be kind of scary for some of you. And because you're like, damn, now it's really up to me. And it's like, yes, it is. It's up to you to do it. Get it done. But that's also exciting. Okay, because look, these laws apply to everybody. Across time, across space. It applies to everything and everyone. There are no exceptions to these rules. And I really do mean that. These 12 universal laws are constant. It's not like, okay, look, all these laws apply to everybody except for specific people with specific skin color. Nope, that's not true. Okay, these laws apply to everybody except for specific people who are born in privileged families. No, that's not true either. Okay, well, what about people who are born in specific countries? No, they're not exceptions. There are no exceptions to these rules. Everybody, everybody has to live by these rules. Now, let me rephrase that. It's not that they have to live by these rules, that these rules, these laws are constantly acting on everyone, everywhere, at every moment. Whether you are aware of it or not, they're acting on you, okay? They really are. The law of divine oneness states that everything is connected. The law of vibrations states that everything has a unique vibrational frequency. Everything is vibrating, everything's moving, everything's moving in circles. If you go down to the atomic level, these electrons and the protons and the neutrons, they're vibrating, they're spinning, they're going around. They're even the table that looks like it's completely stable and motionless, it's vibrating at an atomic level. These vibrations didn't create the images that we see around us, okay? Everything is vibration, everything is frequency. The law of attraction, right? What is like unto itself is drawn. What is like unto itself is drawn. Like attracts like, okay? You're going to attract people that are very similar to you. You're going to attract energies that are very similar to the energies that you put out into this universe, all right? The law of correspondence, as above, so below. Now, what this specifically states is that everything has a correspondence at the energetic level, and that corresponds specifically to the physical level. Everything has a correspondence from the energetic level to the spiritual level. Your thoughts, which are more energy and non-physical, have a correspondence to the physical world. The things that we consider physical, right? Things that are solid. And so there's a correspondence. So when they're speaking about the above, they're talking about the high frequencies, right? Of thoughts and emotions. And then as so below are the frequencies closer to the earth that are more solid and more dense. Now, the law of action, manifestation requires aligned action. Look, action has an incredible amount of energy behind it. We're all going to be able to manifest things instantaneously just with our thoughts. I believe that, right? It's not going to happen anytime soon, but I think eventually we get to that level. Now, if you want a glass of water, for instance, you can go ahead and like meditate for maybe hours or days to try to manifest it into your existence. But you know what's the fastest way to do it? You just get off your ass, go get yourself a glass of water. You take the actions necessary. You see how quickly you can manifest it by just taking the actions, as opposed to trying to manifest it with your own mind. Eventually, we'll be able to manifest it with our own mind. It's not something that we're very good at yet, right? But you want to use all of it. You want to use your mind, emotions, and actions to create in your life. But the law of action states that in order to manifest, it requires aligned action to manifest in your life. You have the law of cause and effect. Every action has a consequence. The law of compensation. We are rewarded for the right actions. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy. All right. Energy is always moving and always changing. Energy is always moving and always changing. Okay. Here's an example. Have you ever been just in a bad mood? And all of a sudden, you're in a good mood. Maybe something happened that kind of just triggered you and got you laughing. And so you went from a low frequency to a high frequency. You just switched. Here's another example. So I'll get into the law of polarity in just a moment, but every energy has an opposite energy. So for instance, emotions. Every positive emotion has a negative emotion, and every negative emotion has a positive emotion. The emotion of nervousness, this is a very common one, right? Say you're kind of nervous because you have a presentation and you have to speak in front of a group of people, and you're just kind of like, oh, I don't really like talking in front of people, and you're nervous, right? Look, nervousness, the opposite of nervousness is actually excitement. Nervousness and excitement are two opposite energies. Now, when I say opposite, like they're the same energy, but with a slightly different vibration that makes it the opposite, right? And to switch nervousness into excitement, you can actually do it very quickly just by changing your state of mind, right? Changing the way you're perceiving the situation. You're nervous because you're afraid you're going to make a mistake. But at the same time, you're excited because you get to speak in front of people and develop this skill of, of public speaking. And not just that, you're excited to present this information because you know this information is going to help these people change their lives, for instance. And so the law of perpetual transmutation of energy allows you to shift these energies, and you can always shift energies whenever you want to. The law of relativity says that everything's relative, meaning that the challenges you face in your life, which you need to change, are which you need to face, assist you in changing yourself. They assist you because through facing challenges, you learn something. You learn a lesson. You learn skills. We talked about skills, remember? But you can really only learn these things through facing challenges, right? That facing challenges is the way you learn it. You can't really learn this stuff without facing challenges, right? So that's why the law of relativity requires you to face challenges in order for you to grow and develop yourself, because that's how it works. And a lot of these challenges you're going to face are really based on the things that you've done in your life, right? If you've done a lot of bad things in your life, you're going to have to learn all of those lessons and grow from it so you never do them again. Law of polarity. There are two sides to everything. We specifically talked about the masculine energy and the feminine energy. The law of gender states that, right? There are two genders, the masculine and the feminine. But you have positive, negative, night and day. You have the electrons and the protons. You have the magnetic field and you have the electric current. These are the opposites of each other, by the way, right? You have the North Pole and the South Pole when it comes down to these magnets. So there's polarity. There's polarity in emotions. There's polarity in all frequencies and all vibrations. There's polarity in everything, all right? And then you have the law of rhythm. The law of rhythm. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. The law of rhythm. You know, the sun rises and the sun sets every day, right? And then we have the seasons, right? You have winter and you have um, you have spring, summer, fall, winter, it just keeps on going. The moon has cycles, right? Even the sun has cycles. The sun hits its peak of the north, then crosses the equator, then it hits its lowest point in the south, and then it does it all over again throughout the year, right? And that's what creates the seasons. So this stuff happens all the time. these cycles and rhythms happen all the time. We see cycles in the market, up and down, up and down. These cycles are everywhere. They happen all the time. The law of rhythm states that. Then you have the law of gender, which taught everything has a masculine energy and everything has a feminine energy, all right? And there's a mixture of the two. Men are not just purely masculine, women are not just purely feminine. They're both masculine and feminine, but the male tends to be more masculine in their physique, masculine in their psychology, masculine even in their biochemistry, testosterone, right? And then females tend to be more feminine in their physique, feminine in their energy, in their psychology, in their behavior, in their emotions, right? So, and their biochemistry as well. So you have these two genders expressed in the male and the female, but it's also expressed in everything in the universe, the moon and the sun, right? Night and day. And you have other expressions of these energies across not just across the like the natural world of the earth, but across the universe as well. And so here are your 12 laws. Now, I'm going to stop talking about this. I'm going to continue now to talk about something else. Get into the index part of the of the folder, right? So let me delete all these things really quick, and then I'll get to the next part. So, like, I've gone over the structure of the folder. I did that in day 6. So a part of the folder is that you have an index, okay? In that index, you're going to be adding a couple of things, right? So these are a few things that I'm going to be talking to you guys to add to it. So let's go with this first one here, right? Let me zoom in a little bit. So hyperfocus technique. So I talked about hyperfocus before, and this is basically a technique or a strategy that I came up with and or copied, or I don't even know, maybe I come across this before, but this is something I've been using recently, and this is how I kind of structure my well, the things I'm going to be doing, right? My work day is basically broken up into these chunks, all right? These chunks of time. Usually I have it about, yeah, right here, about 60 to 65 minutes, right? So I have 5 minutes of prep, 45 minutes of work, and a 10 to 15 minutes of a break. And then I go right back at it again, okay? And I just, my work day consists of this. It's just a cycle of these things. Look, 5 minutes are spent to prepare, get focused. Prepare yourself, prepare your workspace, prepare a get it done list, and get yourself excited and focused on what you will be working on. This is important in my opinion. Prep yourself, prep your workspace, right? Like what I do is, okay, I'm going to be doing a couple of things on my computer, then I turn on my computer. I know I'm going to be on my browser. I open the browser. Okay, I know I'm going to be checking my email. I open up my email. I need to check a couple of things or some other stuff. I need to update my tracker. I open my tracker, and I'm going to be doing something else. So I open that up. Okay, so I have it all prepped there. Then what exactly am I going to do? I'm going to have to go through my emails, respond to emails, and clean up my emails because I get a bunch of junk always in there. So I have to make sure it's all clean. All right, so I need to update my tracker with a couple of deals, make sure I get the dates in there and add the colors and everything that I do with my tracker to keep track of my deals. Perfect. And then I have my other things. I need to pay some bills. You know, I toss it in there. And then I need to track that money on my tracker for my business, right? Something like that. So there it is. That's everything I have right there. Okay, the reason I do this is kind of like maintenance that I do with my work admin stuff, because hey, if I don't do this stuff, it's just gonna add up and add up and add up, and at the end of the day, I have a ton of shit to do. Or at the end of the week, I have a ton of stuff to do, more than I need to. So this is kind of like maintenance for me. So cool. I'm excited. I breathe a little bit. So right here, make clear to yourself what you will be working on and increase your energy for a moment by pacing and breathing deeply. I literally get off my desk, get on my feet, and I just kind of like breathe deeply, and I kind of pace back and forth in my office to kind of get my energy up, right? Get oxygen in your brain and get your blood flowing. And then Once the timer's up, because I always do a timer, I use my phone, or I can use, if you have uh Google or whatever, use whatever, right? And then just set it, and once the timer's up, cool. Then you set a new timer, 45 minutes, right? And work with no distractions. You are only working on what you plan to do, right? Just focus on that. It's so easy to get distracted. I mean, like in this world, my gosh, distractions are all over the freaking place, right? And this, especially your phone. You could put your phone on, you could turn off your phone, you could put the distractions off, you can do whatever you want to do with your phone, but make sure you don't allow it to distract you, because your phone is the most distracting thing in your life. It really is. Even in your on your computer, you have notifications popping up, notifications popping up every second, right? You can mute those notifications for some time as well. So keep a timer in front of you, right? To remind you that you have a time limit. Because sometimes you forget you're working and you kind of forget, and you get distracted and you start doing other stuff. But when you look at time, you're like, oh shit, no, I'm on a timer. I need to be working. I need to be focused. I'm just being honest. That shit happens to me. It's annoying. So being reminded that you're on a timer, because when you see the time in front of you, it's just, I think it helps. Pay attention to any distractions that come up and shut them down right away, right? If you get a text message and you hear it and you kind of want to look at it, you're like, no, no, I'm not gonna look at my text messages. Fuck it. Like I'll check it after. On my break, I can go ahead and check my text message, look at my phone. Okay. Right now I cannot. Block all distractions by noticing that you're trying to sabotage your work in progress, all right? The distractions are more like, it's more with you. This is you trying to sabotage yourself. This is the best way to view it, because fuck, how many times have we sabotaged ourselves? I know I've done it to myself many times, and I'm not the only one, right? Block all distractions by noticing that you are trying to sabotage your work in progress. You are your own worst enemy if you can't control this. If you can't control the distractions, if you hear your text message and all you think about, oh my God, who texts me, who texts me, who texts me, I want to check, and you can't just like shove it off to the side for 45 minutes, then you're not in control. Okay. You're not controlling this. Discipline is so important when it comes down to this. Because, like I said, it's so easy to get distracted. But once you control this, you are your greatest ally. Okay. Get your work done. That's what get you work done, right? But get your work done with hyper focus. Stay hyper focused. You'd be surprised how much you can get done. I mean, I'm telling you guys, the reason that most people aren't successful is because they don't know how to just focus and work. And trust me, I struggle sometimes. I get distracted with certain things in my own head. As I'm thinking ideas and shit like that. Like no, okay, no thinking ideas right now. I just need to respond to these emails. I got a bunch of emails. I need to clear it up, because it's not fun sometimes to clear up these emails. I don't enjoy it so much, but I try my best to make it as enjoyable as possible. You could put on music, and just get into the flow of working, and you get through these 45 minutes, and you'd be surprised how much you got done. And then after you get through those 45 minutes, put another timer for it's about 10 to 15 minutes. Take a break. Be strict with your time though. Okay. Set a timer, be strict with it. Don't be like, oh, in 10 minutes, I'll add 5 more minutes. And then 15 minutes pass, I'll add, 5 more minutes of my break. No, no, no. Don't do that shit. Because trust me, you'll take a 30, 40, 50 minute break before you know it. So be strict with this. Okay. A couple of things you can go outside for fresh air, drink water. You can go on social media, do something fun or entertaining. It's just take a break. You really just escape from the work. Check your text messages, whatever you want to do, and just enjoy yourself, right? And then right back at it. Boom. You're right back at it. 5 minute timer, set it, prep yourself. What are you gonna do? Do a to-do list and everything, right? And then 5 minutes are up. Breathe and everything, get your energy up. 5 minutes are up. And okay, boom, 45-minute timer on. And then no distractions. You're just working on whatever it is that you stated here that you're gonna prep yourself with. And you just go, 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 go. All right. And then 45 minutes is up, 10-minute timer, 15-minute timer, and you take a break. like, I'm telling you, people, like, this shit fucking works, bro. Like, I'm not joking. Like, if you know how to get yourself like really focused, this is why I can't work at home, because every other second, Petra's like, "Oh, can you do this? Oh, can you help?" I'm like, no, bro, I'm working. Like, leave me alone. That's why I come to the office, right? Because I can really focus here. Because I get it. When you're working at home, your kids and your family and everybody are always like, "Hey, can you do this and help me with that and do that and this?" And you just never get shit done. So escape, get the hell out of there, right? We have the office here. Shit, we'll do this shit together. Like, I don't care. Just, work. Get your stuff done. All right. This is just a great little tool to do things. It's so simple. But it's incredibly practical. Incredibly practical. So this is one thing here, right? I'll email this to you guys. I kind of made a few updates. Let me see here. So let me reduce this and open up the next one. Okay, this one. This is another big one here. This is something I picked up from Tony Robbins. The six human needs. Really, really, really good one. This is everything that I teach you, everything that I review with you guys. It's designed in a way to assist you in providing a different perspective in your life, a different understanding of your own reality. Okay, more than anything, I'm trying to improve your understanding of reality, right? You want to improve the overall quality of your life, but you can only really do that by changing your beliefs. Again, if you believe life sucks and life is whatever and life is this and that and it's just mediocre stuff, and then that's what your life is, really. Like, there's no great joy in your life. But if you believe life is beautiful, life is a spiritual journey, life is what, like, divine consciousness created all of us. And there's these 12 universal laws that work beautifully across the universe. And like, I perceive everything in a way that empowers me. Now, fuck yeah, that's you start living a better life, but just because you start changing your beliefs. The six human needs makes you very much aware of a couple of things that you need in your life in order to really experience joy, happiness, a sense of growth and progress, right? Because these things are necessary. Now, let's talk about the first one, the need for certainty. And now I'll get into how some of us put emphasis many times on just one of these things, and we focus more on one of these things as opposed to focusing and balancing all of them in our life. Now, certainty, the need for certainty. We all need this sense of certainty in our life. Well, what do you mean, like? Well, for instance, um, the example I can see is, say we lived in a country where uh, there was a sense of war going on, right? There is war going on, right? And at night, as you sleep with your children, you don't know if you guys are going to wake up to bombs flying out of the sky and falling around your home, or maybe falling into your home, maybe killing you, killing your family. I mean, that's pretty scary. Luckily, we live in a country where we don't have to experience that. But for the people that are in the Middle East, right, in Israel, and what's happening out there, or what's happening in Ukraine, or just the wars we've had in the past. I mean, that was their reality, man. That shit's scary. I mean, there is no certainty if you're going to survive the night or the day or the next day or whatever, or if people or uh, troops from another country come into your town and just take control of it, right? And they turn you into slaves. That's absolute uncertainty right there. That's scary, you know? We need to have certainty knowing that certain things in our life are going to work out. Another good example is, hey, driving, right? I mean, you, some people are like, have significant phobias. There are some people who have a phobia of even leaving their home. But the fear of driving, and say you just can't go drive from one point to another because you're uncertain if someone's going to hit you, right? Or crash into you and kill you. Some people have that fear, and that sense of uncertainty doesn't allow you to live life. The reason we're able to get into our car and drive down the I-25 all the way to Denver, drive back, is because we have a sense of certainty that we're gonna be able to make it out there in one piece, right? And then make it back. And then we've done it many times and we have the sense of certainty, well, we can get it done, every time, right? Sometimes when the climate is pretty intense, it's kind of scary driving through that road, right? Because of the wind and then the snow, and you can't see, and then it's slippery, and you have a sense of uncertainty. It gets kind of scary. So a sense of certainty in our life is a must. We must have a sense of certainty in our life. Okay. Then you have uncertainty. Now, if you knew everything that was going to happen in your life, everything that was going to happen in every moment, then you know what happens? You get bored. You get bored as F, bro. You get really bored because you have no variety. You have no surprise. You know, you need to have variety in your life as well. It's kind of funny, right? We need to have the opposites of these things in our lives, and this is the truth. We need it. We need that. It's just a part of it. They call it a paradox, right? The paradox means that you have two things that are seemingly opposite that exist at the same time, right? And what's interesting is that you can't really have one without the other, right? You can't have beauty without like ugly, right? You can't have light without day. You can't have masculine without the feminine, right? It's called a dichotomy. There's two things that are opposite that exist at the same time, right? The next one is love and connection. We need to have a sense of love and connection with people, right? We really do. You find that with family, you find that with intimate relationships, and this sense of love and connection is something we really need to have. We are, as a human race, we are a social being. We're a social species. We're social animals where we need other people in order for us to survive. When a baby is born into this world, um, you can't just throw them out in the city and just expect them to just take care of themselves and just grow up, right? No, of course not, man. They are 100% dependent on their parents in order for them to survive. Period. That loving connection is necessary. We grow up with it. It's what actually creates the beauty in our life. The love, the great experiences in your life aren't the experiences you had by yourself. They're usually the experiences you have with other people, your loved ones. Now, if you're just like everybody and everybody was just the same and all this stuff, you would feel like a sense of insignificance. And so the next one, which is basically the opposite of love and connection, is feeling different from other people, feeling significant, feeling like you are unique. Yeah, you love your family and everything, your friends and all your loved ones and all that fun stuff, and that's great. But man, I need to be different from them because if I'm just like them, then who am I, right? So the sense of significance is another human need that we all have, that we just have the sense that we feel like we're different, right? Now, the law of oneness states that we all come from divine consciousness. We're all extensions of divine consciousness, individualized expressions of divine consciousness, right? Or God, whatever you want to call it. And that's beautiful. That's great. I love it. But at the same time, we're all unique. Like no one looks exactly like another person. Even identical twins don't look exactly alike. There's slight differences to them. We're all unique. We're all significant, right? We're all different. The next one is growth. We have to have a sense of growth. These two, like these two right here, the last two, growth and contribution, these are like, if you want happiness, this is where happiness really comes from. Happiness comes from these two, okay? When you have a sense of growth, you actually feel a sense of happiness with yourself because you know you're growing, right? When you look at yourself in the mirror and you kind of like reflect on maybe the past month or 2 months, or maybe a year, and you're like, damn, I've changed, I've grown a lot, I've accomplished a lot. And you're like, you feel this sense of like pridefulness over yourself, like you're like you did it. Now that's the growth. Like that's you realizing that you've grown. That's you being happy, bro. It feels great, like feeling that, right? Now, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, damn, I didn't do shit for the past several months, year, eh, you know what happens? You feel like a sense of disgust. And that sense of disgust is good for you because you don't want to feel disgusted with yourself. And so many times, what drives you is you feeling disappointed with yourself. Because there's two things that drive us. There's inspiration and desperation, right? Dude, I'm desperate. I need to get shit done. If I don't, I'm screwed, right? And the inspiration is like, man, I'm inspired to make my life better, to improve where I love where I'm at, but I want to get better. I'm inspired to get better. Those two things drive us. And growth or the lack of growth is when you really feel these two things, right? These two emotions. That's I mean, there's desperation and there's disappointment, right? You're disappointing with yourself and you don't want to feel disappointed with yourself. So like, dude, I need to change. I need to grow. I need to start going to the gym. I need to start eating better. I need to start making the phone calls. I need to start closing deals. I need to start making money. I need to start creating a business, whatever it is. And you start pushing yourself through growth. Contribution is another big one. This contribution is huge. When you really know that you've helped people, you know how beautiful that emotion is? It's powerful. Growth, it doesn't have to be individualized, right? Like I've been individualizing. You can have growth with your wife and your children and everything like that. But the growth with another person is still a sense of contribution, just so you know. So the growth is more individualized. The contribution is more a sense of a group effort, right? You're growing with other people. Uh, I used to volunteer back when I lived in LA to tutor uh, homeless children, right? So in the United States, there are like hundreds of thousands of children who are homeless. Now, it's not that they're homeless and they don't have parents, like they have parents and everything, but them as a family, they're homeless. Now, what's interesting about these shelters is that they don't allow men in these shelters. They only allow women in these shelters with their children. Okay. And that's just an interesting fact that I learned because we had to take like this training before we did it, before we started working with this, so we understood the rules and all that stuff, right? And understood some statistics with the homeless population in the United States. So once a week, I would go to this homeless shelter, and I would have to like sign in and all this stuff, right? Because they're pretty strict with who can be allowed in there. And then I would tutor this kid for about an hour a week, right? Cute little kid. He was in kindergarten, 5 years old. I think he was half white, half black, but he had like freckles and like curly red hair. But it's smart child, super smart child. I think his name was Randy. And yeah, I would tutor him for about an hour. We'd just kind of like go over some of his homework and everything. And he was really smart. Like I was really surprised. He's really very well spoken for his age, and I mean, a wide variety of for his vocabulary as well. Like you can pretty much have a conversation with this kid straight up. And so I would teach him to go over reading and a bunch of other stuff. And I remember he asked me if I could teach him how to play chess. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'll teach you how to play chess. We'll get everything done, and for the last 10 minutes, I'll teach you how to play chess. And and he got pretty good. I was really surprised that he learned all the moves pretty quickly. I would be like, hey, why don't you move this piece over here? And he's like, no, like, why not? Because if I move it there, your piece will take mine. I was like, damn, you can see it. It's kind of funny because there'll be a bishop like across the board. So unless he really knew and like was like analyzing it well, he wouldn't see the move, but he was able to see it. And so I was like, damn, it's either I'm a really good teacher or he's just a really smart kid. But I remember he had a toy and he's showing me this toy and all this stuff, right? And I was like, oh, that's a cool toy. And then he just stopped for a second. He looked at me and he asked me if I was his friend. And I was like, oh, of course I'm your friend, buddy. Like, I'm here. We're hanging out. I'm teaching you some stuff. We can, play a little bit. Like these kids, like they're homeless. Like they don't have a house. But what's interesting is like they don't realize their situation. They don't know what's going on. And it's beautiful, in my opinion. They're not feeling down about themselves. They don't, nothing. He's just a kid. And I remember getting there one day and I was like, oh, I'm here to, tutor Randy. And oh, they're not here anymore. Oh, well, what happened? And like, I was like, oh, wait, sorry, I know it's none of my business. I'm not supposed to ask. So yeah, I know when we have rules and, when they break these rules, we have to let them go. And especially when it comes down to drugs. And I was like, no, I understand. And so they had to move to another shelter. And so they weren't there anymore. And I remember it was just strange. Like I remember walking out, I remember going in my car, I remember like closing the door, sitting there, and for some reason I just start crying. And I mean, like I was like sobbing. It was just I couldn't control it. And I just felt how unfair it was. I understand now that that was his path, right? But I was just kind of like kind of angry or upset that, these parents would get to the point where that happens to their family. You know what I mean? But again, everybody's on their own path. But that back then, that's how I felt. Contribution changes everything. Okay. Once you get to the point where you can really contribute in your life, even if you can contribute just a little bit now, it really brings a lot of joy into your life. Not only that, according to the law of compensation, you receive so much in return. It's not always in monetary sense, by the way. It's more actually emotional growth and spiritual growth. These are the six human needs. You can apply them to everything. You can apply these six human needs, for instance, in your relationship, right? Do you have certainty in your relationship? Well, like, yeah, I trust my spouse that she's not going to leave me, right? Right? So there is certainty there, 100%. Is there uncertainty? Is there variety there? Yeah, we have our date nights, we have fun, we joke around, we still laugh and everything. So that brings a lot of variety in our life. Is there love and connection? Absolutely, there's love and connection. Is there significance? I feel very significant uh, to be married to my wife. I feel like a very significant man to have an awesome woman in my life, and that makes me feel significant. We grow together and everything. So is there growth in the relationship? Absolutely, there is growth, right? I've grown a lot. She's grown a lot. I've seen it like, 15 years, absolutely. And is there contribution? Yes, I do. I feel like I do my part in our relationship. I feel that she does her part as well. There is contribution. Boom, all six, bro. Then you're happy. Then yes, absolutely. Now if you're missing some of these, then you know where to work on. That's what's great about these six human needs. And again, it's applicable to everything. Apply it to your children. Apply it to real estate. Is there certainty in real estate? Sometimes there isn't, right? No, there's certainty. You've been getting clients, you're moving, you're working. That's awesome. It's awesome. Is there uncertainty? Absolutely. You never know when something's gonna happen, bro. You know, deals or whatever. There's always going to be challenges, 100%, absolutely. So there's plenty of variety in our business. Is there love and connection? Well, this is kind of strange. Like, what do you mean by love and connection? Well, like, are you connecting with the people maybe in your brokerage? Is there love and connection there? Are you connected with people and your clients? Period. I think that's fair, right? Is there love and connection there with your, are you establishing business partnerships with maybe your lender? And there's that connection there, right? You guys work together, you guys have that connection. There's connection within the team. Significance. Do you feel significant working as a real estate agent? Like I think so. Being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, working in real estate, maybe being a top producer in real estate, making tons of money, that makes you feel pretty significant, right? Is there growth? Absolutely, right? Every deal, you're gonna grow with every single deal. You're gonna be growing a lot. And there's a contribution. You're helping people purchase homes, getting into a home or investing. Yeah, there's lots of contribution there. So you can see how this applies to everything. Have fun with it. You know, I think it's the six human needs, just applying it to going through your life to see how it all applies. And if you're missing something, then you kind of know where to work at. Now, I think the final thing I really wanted to emphasize here is sometimes people just put emphasis on one and they ignore the others, right? And this is just an example, certainty. People who want to control everything. Maybe you know people that are like this. Maybe you are this type of person. You want to control everything in every aspect and just make sure everything's just perfect. Because when you're in control, you know that you're not going to have weird uncertainty coming into your life. But when can you really ever control everything? Excuse me. You can only control three things in your life. What are those? Your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. That's it. You can't control anything else. You really can't control other people. Yeah, you may have kids and children and things like that, and you can control them for the most part. But hey, eventually they become teenagers, right? And then you lose all control, right? So you can't really control your spouse. You can't really control the government or the economy or the weather. You can't control these things. And so when you become the type of person that's always just trying to control, it's because you're focused on just having certainty in your life. And that certainty is many times an illusion, right? Because what is 100% certain? Really nothing, right? But when you put so much emphasis on this, it's just it messes up your life because you don't focus on anything else. You're not focusing on the love and connection. You're not focusing on the significance and the growth and contribution, and even the uncertainty, which is the fun part of life. And so your life just becomes control. I used to date a girl, yeah, years ago, right? Where she had a mom where she was the youngest and she had two older siblings. And the mom told the two older siblings what they were going to study, what careers are going to be. And if they don't study those things and go to those careers, that she'll cut them off with their money. And she, the youngest one, didn't want that. So she started earning her own money and just did what she wanted to do because she was not going to fall into that trap. I mean, like, that's crazy. Like, you're gonna study this, you're gonna become this, and if you don't, you're basically disowned. Like, some crazy shit. Like I do the same thing. I'm like, screw you, I'm out of here, bro. So again, just a couple of examples there. Let's get into the next one here. I spent enough time on that one. So here's this one right here. This is strategies to change your behavior. I'll do this last one and I think we'll be good. But right here, strategy to change your behavior. So if you have like a bad habit, for instance, a behavior you want to change, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a behavior like an action that you take. It could just be your reaction to things, your thought process, your emotions that you feel, right? Now, they all go together, of course, but maybe sometimes you want to be able to maybe stress less, for instance, right? Or maybe you have a bad habit that you want to break. Maybe you overeat or you snack a lot. Just I think that's a good example. I sometimes, depending on on how things are going, if I'm really stressed and there's food available and I'm working at home, I just kind of end up snacking. I look for a snack. That's why another reason I prefer working in my office because I have no snacks here. I just have water. That's it. I just drink water, and I have my Celtic salt. So uh, in order to like break habits, sometimes you have to put yourself in a different environment. But here's a strategy that you can use to assist you in breaking bad habits or bad thought processes that don't serve you, and to replace them with positive ones. Now, the first one here is get leverage. You want to get leverage on yourself, okay? What does that mean? You want to get to the point where, like, dude, I need a freaking change. Like, I have to change this behavior. That's like that's the level you need to get yourself to. Because if I don't change this behavior, I'm just going to keep on overeating or snacking and snacking and snacking, putting way too many calories into my system. And I'm eventually going to gain weight or have some health problems, right? If I'm snacking like junk stuff. I never snack on junk stuff, but it just ends up being just extra food that I'm not even hungry. I'm just eating because I'm stressed. And the eating kind of brings down my stress, right? And that is what happens. That's why a lot of people overeat or over snack. But here are two questions. What will be the result in my life if I change? Like if I change this bad habit of overeating, for instance, or maybe you can say smoking, or whatever that bad habit is, man, I can, I don't have to worry about getting gaining weight, or I can stop smoking and like I can finally just allow my lungs to kind of recover from the smoking, and I feel more fit, more healthy. My spouse does hates the fact that I smoke, and I hates how I smell. So like I think that's a big one. Like if I was a Fedra and she hated kissing me and smelling me, I'm like, then I'd really want to quit. I don't smoke personally. I never smoked, but I'm just using it as an example, right? So if I stop smoking, my wife or my spouse would be more attracted to me because I don't smell like smoke anymore. So I get more affection from them, and that can be a driving force. Like that's a positive, right? Of course it is, right? So that's just what will be the result if I in my life if I change? What will be the result in my life if I change? The next one is what will be the result in my life if I don't change? Well, if I don't change and I continue to over snack and overeat, then I'm going to end up gaining weight. And I've already gained 10 pounds since I started working in real estate. And so I need to lose this weight, right? This is just an example. This didn't happen to me. Trust me. So, but this is what could happen to people, right? I remember I used to work in life insurance, and the owner of the office that we worked at, his name was Josh Olson or something like that, Josh Olin. And when he started working and started building his business and really becoming very successful, he gained like 40, 50 pounds, man. He got like super fat. He showed me pictures and everything too. That's all I did was work. I didn't care. I would just eat and I just work and eat and work and eat and work. And look, I gained 40 pounds. I was like, damn, bro. Like, and he had to lose his weight after, right? But still, like that's what happens. That's what can happen if you continue down this path, right? Or if I continue to smoke, I'm going to continue to be rejected by my spouse. And that just kind of that rejection kind of hurts, and I don't like that, right? So yeah, so you find the reason you need to change, and you find the reason why well you want to focus on how your life improves if you change, and you want to focus on how your life worsens if you don't change. Because right now it's okay, but in the far future, it can either be way better if you change, of course, or it can get way worse. And so you want to see both sides to inspire you to change, to get leverage on yourself. That's the first one, right? The second one. The second one is interrupt. Interrupt old the old behavior, the old pattern, the old thoughts. You want to interrupt it, okay? So do something to interrupt the behavior. Stop the negative thoughts. Pay attention to your behavior and your thoughts. So one thing, what I would do when I started when I'd be working at home and I'd end up just going to the cabinet and I open the cabinet to see what's in there. And I'm like, dude, what am I doing? Like, I'm not hungry. So I just closed the cabinet, even though I wanted to just grab something just because I was just kind of stressed with working, right? And so I'd catch myself. So catching yourself is one thing, but sometimes that isn't enough. Like having you you know you shouldn't do it. Like you're right there. You're like, dude, I know I shouldn't do it, but you knowing that you shouldn't do it isn't enough. Like you still end up doing it. That is you not having that willpower over yourself. And so you still give in. Trust me, I know how it feels. We all know how it feels, right? So sometimes you have to be a bit more drastic with the interruption, right? So like if you can remember, if I change, what's the pro to that, right? If I change. If I don't change, what's the con to that, right? What is the result of that? And so sometimes you have to say, wait, no, like I'm not hungry and I don't want to eat right now because there's just extra calories I'm tossing into my system. And I don't want to put that in there because I know what would happen in the future if I continue this habit. And I want to break this habit now. Right. And so like that's like a pep talk that you give yourself. But sometimes if you have to be more intense, bro, slap yourself. Right? Just like when I mean like slap, I mean like make it hurt. Right. And that'll just kind of like stop, that'll make you focus on the pain as opposed to be focusing on the food or the cigarette, right? Watch a YouTube video that inspires you. Get creative with the interruption. Just get creative. Make it something silly. Make it something kind of funny. Just what you're really trying to do is just interrupt the pattern. It is just a pattern. It's a behavioral pattern that you have that it just kind of does. It does it subconsciously, right? You're not even thinking about it. Like I would just end up just going to the cabin and like I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, what am I doing? Like, what the fuck, bro? And I just walk away from it, right? Or like, you get stressed and you go straight for the cigarettes and you start walking out and like you don't even think about it. You just grab the cigarettes, you walk out with this with your lighter and everything, and you're just, well, like damn, right? Like how did I get here? Like I wasn't even processing anything. I was just like, I just moved, right? Because the subconscious knows what to do. It just does it automatically because it's behavior that's already programmed in the subconscious. It's a bad habit already programmed in the subconscious. So you have to reprogram yourself. And that this is I'm teaching you how to do it. So interrupt it. But then the third step is you need to replace it. Replace it with the behavior that you want, right? So one thing is, okay, cool. I have the urge to maybe eat something. So instead of eating something, maybe I'll just grab a glass of water and drink some water. So I drink water and it quenches my hunger and I'm good, right? So I can replace that bad habit. So replace the old behavior or slash thoughts with the new behavior slash thoughts, right? So instead of snacking, I drink water as an example, right? Maybe have just a little bit of juice, or I'm going to make myself some tea. Like I'm getting agitated and stuff. I'm going to mix myself some tea with some honey and everything, and some milk, and done, right? That's better than me snacking on whatever. Really, that works, right? Now, cigarettes. There's different things you can do when it comes down to smoking. And again, these are just examples to give you some ideas, but this works with any behavior, by the way, right? So do the action you want to do, focus on the thoughts you want to have, right? Again, I don't want to be focusing on food. I want to be focusing on my discipline. Because if I can discipline myself from not overeating, then that discipline is power for me. I love being disciplined on myself. Do it with great positive emotions to enforce the new behavior slash thoughts. Associate great joy to it. When you do it, like celebrate. Like hell yeah, I didn't eat anything. I just had my tea, and I love my tea, and it was perfect, and it got the urge to eat just went away. Felt great. With your cigarettes, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, you're gonna grab your cigarettes. You're stepping out. So well, you want the behavior of just, hey, I'm gonna put down my cigarettes and I'm just gonna go for a walk and breathe, right? Go for a walk and I breathe deeply. So and breathe deeply. I breathe. So take away I and breathe deeply, right? So that's great. Now you're replacing it, and you're going to notice when you're walking and breathing deeply, and you're getting yourself going, that you're going to notice your stress starts going away because you're walking and you're breathing, right? Usually, the stress is a lack of oxygen in your system, especially to your brain. Your brain needs oxygen, okay, in order to properly function. And when you deprive your brain of oxygen, you start feeling stress. And so many times it's just that you're kind of like hunched over your desk for a couple hours and you're not really breathing much. And if you're going through emails and you got an email of something you need to do and you're like, oh, you're kind of stressed and like you need a break. That's why the break part, when you're the hyper focus, all this is connected, by the way. The hyper focus strategy where you take a break, The breaks are necessary. Don't pass on the breaks. Don't be like, I want to work for 2 hours straight. Don't do that. Your brain can only really function efficiently for about 30 to 50 minutes. Once you hit that threshold, your brain gets tired. Okay. And so you have to step away for a moment to reset yourself and go back at it to work efficiently. All this is strategic. Everything that I'm teaching you. All right, the next one, healthy snacks, right? If you tend to like, I tend to snack a lot on maybe like Doritos or whatever, like then you want to break that. So you maybe want to put healthy snacks and put like maybe some raw almonds, raw cashews, maybe some fruit, right? As this is just another example for people who maybe snack on junk stuff, right? Breathe deeply breathe deeply 10 times. Like there's a walk and breathing. I prefer that. I love doing that. Me just sitting here and breathing sometimes isn't too fun, but if I don't have too much time to walk, I can just breathe deeply and 10 times. Breathe deeply and exhale. Inhale and exhale 10 times. Or meditate for 2 minutes. Meditating is amazing. Meditating is awesome for you. I try to meditate at least once a day between 5 to 10 minutes. So that's step 3. Step 4 is visualize yourself overcoming the craving and succeeding, right? Visualize yourself succeeding. Visualize yourself doing that. Like if you have like some time to spare, then you're like, all right, I want to continue to improve myself on not snacking anymore. So I'm going to visualize myself having the urge, wanting a snack, but then I do the behavior to interrupt it and then replace it with the behavior that I want. And you kind of visualize yourself doing this. Visualization is so powerful. You want to practice in your mind overcoming the old behaviors, thoughts, and succeeding with your new way of being. Visualization is powerful. You can build confidence with it. Use it. It's free, it's easy, and it's fun. The way I was able to really develop my speaking skills was through visualization. I would visualize myself speaking in front of groups of people, maybe like of these topics that I talk about with you guys all the time. And as I visualize myself speaking in front of groups of people, I see how I want to present myself, how to speak, how to how to increase the volume of my voice or maybe slow down as I'm speaking. I practice all these different skills, which is all communication skills, right? And presentation skills and public speaking skills. And it got me to the point where like I can do this stuff pretty much automatically now, subconsciously speak this way and present the information in a very fluent way where it's very effective at doing it. And I know that I am because I've been working on these skills for about a decade now. So, and I did it all through visualization, people, all through visualization. Okay. And so that's why I'm trying to emphasize in how powerful visualization is, because it is that powerful, because your mind can't tell the difference between a thought and reality. You can, but your mind can't. And I can prove this to you, right? Go ahead and think of something that has brought a lot of joy in your life. You know, for me, I remember the day I met Fedra, right? And I think of this moment multiple times throughout the week, right? And I remember her smile. I remember her walking towards me. I remember all of it. And it just brings all this joy into me, right? Because it was awesome to meet her. That's how quick it can happen. You're in control. And I'm just visualizing it, right? If you just visualize it, you start feeling the emotions as if it's real. That's that's visualization. That's the power of visualization. You guys already know how to do it. You guys do it all the time. But you need to use it to your advantage. All right. So these are the 4 steps to changing your behavior. The 4 steps to changing your behavior. Okay. Again, quick review is get leverage on yourself. Ask yourself, what will be the result in my life if I change? And what will be the result in my life if I don't change? Get yourself this leverage. Okay. Visualize yourself um, succeeding and the results of succeeding with changing your behavior. And then visualize yourself failing to change your behavior and how that's going to look in your future. Interrupt the old behavior, pattern thoughts. Do something to interrupt the behavior. Stop the negative thoughts. Pay attention to your behavior slash thoughts, okay? Slap yourself. Watch a video, a YouTube video that inspires you. Get creative with the interruption. You really need to interrupt it. And then as you interrupt it, you need to replace it. You need to replace the old behavior slash thoughts with new behavior slash thoughts. Do the action you want to do. Focus on the thoughts you want to have. Do it with great positive emotions to enforce the new behavior slash thoughts. Associate great joy to it. Go for a walk and breathe deeply. Healthy snacks, breathe deeply 10 minutes, meditate for 2 minutes, like go, like whatever it is, right? Just whatever behavior you want to replace it with, go ahead and replace it with. Those are just a couple of examples. And then number 4, visualize yourself overcoming the craving and succeeding. You want to practice in your mind overcoming the old behavior slash thoughts and succeeding with your new behavior with your new way of being. Visualization is powerful. You can build confidence with it. Use it. It is free. It is easy and it is fun, right? So this is where I'm going to end here the presentation. This is, again, day 5 of the workshop. I'm going to email this to you guys as well. And unless I already did, I don't know, but I'm going to email it again. And I'm going to go ahead and email all the videos with you guys and probably put all the documents in there as well for you guys to have. I know you guys had it before, but I'm just gonna make sure you guys have everything again. And then yeah, man, this was day 5. So you guys have the full workshop now. You guys can review this as many times as you want to. I highly suggest you do personally, because I know it was a lot of information that I covered. And this information is designed to help you to improve the overall quality of your life. Your folder, again, or the binder, here it is, right? You have the sections. This stuff will go at the last section of your binder, which is basically your index, right? Or you can call it an appendix. It doesn't really make much of a difference. It's the same thing. And that's where you're going to have all these extra notes. So when you come across strategies like this, and I'm going to teach you guys more strategies that are very similar to this or kind of different or more information, it's not going to be going in your goals. It's not going to be going in your affirmations or your morning statement or any of that stuff. It goes all the way in the back as extra notes. So you can go to them when you want to like review that information, right? That's why I do it. It just allows you to be organized, because you're gonna end up reading a lot of books, coming across a lot of information, a lot of different strategies, and you want to take notes of them. And then you take notes of them, and then where do you put these notes? Where do I put them? Well, you put them right here in the index, right? And you're organized. This allows you to organize your life. This is why I created this. This is why I want you guys to use it, because I know it's going to help you. Because most of us have all this ideas and goals and information and knowledge and wisdom and everything, and it's all right in here, and it's not organized. Okay? You can't really keep yourself well organized in here. This is a great processing unit, but it's not a very good memory, such as like keeping your stuff organized with that, unless you have like a photographic memory or something like that. But I don't have a photographic memory. That's why I use this. And this allows me to keep myself organized with the beliefs that I have, the goals that I have, the things that I want to accomplish, and then the new strategies and everything that I want to do too. And then I sent you guys the letters, the 7 letters. I would put those letters in here as well. Okay. I would put them in here as well. They're all right here. So, other than that, guys, thank you and God bless.